The Gilded Age Season 3 is the most watched and best season yet of Julian Fellowes' hit HBO historical drama thus far, but I'm disappointed that it lacked a crossover with Downton Abbey. The Gilded Age began as HBO's bid for Fellowes to create an American Downton Abbey for the prestige cable network. Lightning indeed struck twice, with the Gilded Age Season 3's audience growing week to week, posting its highest ratings for its Season 3 finale. Amidst its myriad plotlines, the Gilded Age Season 3 centered on Bertha Russell, Carrie Coon, marrying her daughter, Gladys, Tisa Farmiga, to Hector, Duke of Buckingham, Ben Lamb. Bertha bulldozed past her family's objections and got her way, with Gladys consenting to become the Duchess of Buckingham. At the end of the Gilded Age Season 3, George Russell, Morgan Spector, left his wife because he resented going along with Bertha selling their daughter. Downton Abbey begins in 1912, about 30 years after the events of the Gilded Age. This and the need to establish the Gilded Age as its own series are the reasons Julian Fellowes has cited for not pulling the trigger on a crossover with Downton Abbey. The Gilded Age and Downton Abbey existing in a shared universe remains theoretical. However, the Gilded Age Season 3 put the pieces in place. Why I'm disappointed the Gilded Age Season 3 didn't crossover with Downton Abbey. Gladys pretending to be happy with the Duke. Image by Yida Chacon. Julian Fellowes addressed a possible Downton Abbey crossover at the start of the Gilded Age Season 3. In fairness, the Academy Award-winning writer-producer never said there would be or even alluded to a crossover, although the media's imaginations ran wild regardless. Gladys becoming Duchess of Buckingham and moving to England, however, is practically an invitation for a Downton crossover. Gladys moving to Sidmouth Castle established England as one of the Gilded Age's prime locales. Indeed, Victorian-era country life involves elaborate dinners and shooting parties, and the Gilded Age Season 3 featured more than a few visitors dining with the Buckinghams. Disappointingly, none of Gladys and Hector's guests were named Crawley or Grantham, as fans like myself hoped. Gladys' story of an American heiress marrying to financially rescue British nobility is similar to why Cora Levinson, Elizabeth McGovern, married Robert Crawley, future Earl of Grantham, Hugh Bonville, in Downton Abbey's backstory. Cora and Robert's love and money match took place in the 1880s, which is the Gilded Age's period, making Cora and Gladys peers. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, the third and purportedly final Downton feature film, premieres September 12. Synergy with the Gilded Age via a crossover that could draw HBO viewers' attention to the next Downton movie would have been ideal. Instead, it was a missed opportunity for the eternally popular Downton Abbey and the increasingly ascendant Gilded Age to shine alongside each other. A Downton Abbey crossover could happen in the Gilded Age Season 4. Elizabeth McGovern and Hugh Bonville as Cora Crawley and Lord Grantham respectively in Downton Abbey, dancing at a party. Hope remains undaunted that the Gilded Age Season 4 will include the long-awaited Downton Abbey crossover. The Gilded Age Season 3 has laid the foundation for different ways an earlier generation of the Crawleys could meet the Russells, the Buckinghams, or possibly even visit the Forte van Rijnbroek household. It would be a simple matter now for Julian Fellowes to bring members of the Crawleys to Sidmouth Castle, if the Duke and Duchess of Buckingham visiting Downton Abbey's iconic Highclere Castle location is a bridge too far for HBO. There are also members of the Crawleys from the Gilded Age's era who have been mentioned in Downton Abbey but have not been seen. Similarly, Cora Levinson's family, including her mother Martha, Shirley MacLaine, and her younger brother Harold, Paul Giamatti, should be in New York City or Newport, Rhode Island, both regular settings in the Gilded Age. It's surprising, given the Levinson status as new money, that Cora and Martha have not been mentioned at all in the Gilded Age, but perhaps Season 4 can remedy this. Which Downton Abbey characters could cross over with the Gilded Age? Young Lady Violet Downton. Lady Violet Crawley reigns as Countess of Grantham during the Gilded Age's late 19th century era, and she would be 3 decades younger than the Dowager Countess played by Maggie Smith. Violet's husband, Patrick Crawley, the 6th Earl of Grantham, is also still alive during the Gilded Age. As are Robert Crawley, Lady Rosamond, Samantha Bond, and even Charles Carson, Jim Carter, though it's unclear when Carson became Downton's butler. Of course, the younger versions of Cora, Martha, and Harold Levinson are also alive during the Gilded Age. So are several Downton Abbey supporting cast members, like Hugh MacClare, Marquess of Flintshire, Peter Egan, the father of Lady Rose MacClare, Lily James. However, none of the Crawley daughters, Lady Mary, Michelle Dockery, Lady Edith, Laura Carmichael, and Lady Sybil, Jessica Brown Findlay, were born yet during the Gilded Age. Perhaps the complications of recasting iconic Downton Abbey characters like Lady Violet, Robert Crawley, and Cora Levinson to appear in the Gilded Age are reasons why there has been no Downton Abbey crossover. Downton Abbey is also still a viable brand with a movie about to premiere, so it's possible Julian Fellowes is avoiding Downton's characters in their own film competing with younger versions appearing on HBO.